Welcome to Knives or Words. Whichever way the truth sits in our mind, it has to be told. And today, we'll not be doing anything short of that. Let's get to it. Alright, today we'll be starting from the African scene. And last week, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu visited Rwanda for the CEO Forum, African CEO Forum. Alright, and then he did something, said something, then did something that caused some kind of online chaos while he spoke. Let's listen to it. All right.
Helps a lot. All right, let's get into the show.
Nigeria, I'll say, and speaking for Africa as African champion, putting our spirit behind what we talk about is creating a platform. Look around the entire continent, 54 countries. There's none of us without a particular commodity available in the country or the other. Why not start an exchange commodity platform where we can trade with one another?
Well, why don't you start one?
You say?
Why don't you start the commodity exchange you're talking about?
So let's dial it back.
Alright, so I got this from Panagenius TV. Okay, so giving credit to where credit is due. Alright, so we heard what President Tinubu said, yeah? And he said something and the audience clapped. And maybe in the essence of time, right? Maybe at the time it didn't sit with people as it later sat with me. Yeah, that statement does not make any sense. It does not make any sense whatsoever. Starting an exchange platform for commodities. What commodities? And what central currency do we have to trade with? Are we talking about dollars? Yeah, that does not help Africa. And so, what exchange are we talking about? One Rwanda franc. The last time I checked, 1,000 Rwanda franc is equivalent to 938 naira. It's going to be at the cost of that loss. Does not make any sense, is what I'm saying, in terms of currency value for African countries. Okay, we can only have a universal currency to trade commodities with, which is going outside the borders of Africa, which is in dollars or in pounds or in yen, since China is Africa's best friend now. So we are going to be enriching other countries at the expense of ourselves and thinking we're doing something great for ourselves. That does not make any sense. Economically, it does not make any sense for any African country. And when I checked, the country with the best currency value in Africa is Tunisia. Tunisia. I'm not saying Tunisia does not have any commodity. I'm just saying, will the Western African countries want to trade with the dinar, with the Tunisia dinar? I don't think so. Where is the unity between these countries to even begin this platform in the first place? So, as much as the statement sounds intellectual, it sounds it, but it is actually not an intellectual statement to make at all. And I bet he was told to say that it does not make any sense economically for African countries. It does not. Okay, so, and no African country wants to enrich the other African country against itself, if you get what I mean. So even if we say we want to trade in Tunisia dinar, it means we are going to be enriching Tunisia. No African country wants to do that. Okay, so if the Nigerian president is bringing that up and is saying, okay, maybe we should do the trade in naira, I'm not saying he said that. I'm just like hypothetically speaking. If we do the trade in naira, Rwanda is already falling short behind the naira. Would Rwanda want to do that? The only situation where that is possible is in this recent financial reset that is about to happen or has begun to happen, where trades can be done and settled in different currencies. So if I trade with a Nigerian stock or commodity, I get paid in Rwanda franc if I'm a Rwandan person. Okay, so it is only in that situation. So if that protocol is put in place, yes, it is possible. But under the recent and current financial how would I call it, system, nah, no country wants to do that. The only reason why it works for Western countries is because they have policies that helps them to trade with one another without necessarily affecting one another's economy. But Europeans trading in dollars affects the European economy. Okay, so it means more money is going into the dollar market, though the European companies make their money, but in translation to the government, European governments, it's not expanding the economy of their countries. Okay, so they only get paid in taxes. It does not help their economy, so they can't like issue bonds, of their own currencies and whatnot, because it's not been traded in their currency. So it's a tricky thing. It can happen in this upcoming financial reset, but for now, that statement does not make any sense. Futuristically, it does. Presently, it does not. Okay, so the chaos going on social media is totally different from this view. The chaos going on social media is that while it was asked why didn't he start, or why doesn't he start that platform, and then he has no answer, him shrugging. They are saying that it means, they are all talks. African leaders are all talks, no action. Number one, I don't think Tinubu sat with that statement. I think it was just a point given to him to raise during the meeting. I don't think it affects. I don't think it has any contribution, in a long span of continuing a conversation. So I don't think he expected the question from the interviewer to come. I think he just wanted to mention it to get the applause and move on. All right. So, nah, it does not make any sense economically. It does not help anybody. Nobody's going to build that platform right now. All right, on to the next story. So, the Secretary of State to the United States, Marco Rubio, was in Sweden for the NATO summit recently, and he had some things to say, which borders on the Iran war that the United States of America is fighting right now. And I want us to watch what he had to say. All right. Okay, so I'm not playing the whole thing.
In recent months, but at the end of the day, I think it's well understood in the alliance that the United States troop presence in Europe is going to be adjusted. That work was already ongoing, and it's been done in coordination with our allies. I'm not saying they're going to be thrilled about it, but they certainly are aware of it. We have obligations in the Indo-Pacific, we have obligations in the Middle East, we have obligations in the Western Hemisphere. So this has been an ongoing process. Shouldn't be a surprise to anybybody.
Mr. Secretary.
Did you discuss the NATO force model today?
It didn't come up in directly in our, but again, it ties back to the same conversation, and that is in a moment of conflict, what can everybody commit? And that decision, I think there's going to be some announcements on it later today in regards, if it hasn't come out already, in the next few days, and it'll be a collective product. I mean, they've been working it through the internal systems of NATO in terms of the force postures of what we would be able to supply along with others. Every country has to constantly reevaluate what their needs are, what their commitments are around the world, and how to properly structure that.
Mr. Secretary,
So he said that, guys. So what I perceive from this is that there's going to be some reshuffling in NATO, within the NATO system. Okay. The reason was because America expected, to blow the whistle and Europe goes. Why does America need NATO to step in right now? It's because, in my opinion, I think America does not want a drawn-out war with Iran. Okay, Iran are proven to be thorn on their side, and Iran is kind of has figured out America's weakness, which is funds. Okay, America does not have the funds to fight a drawn-out war with Iran right now, because it will go against what America is trying to achieve right now. America is trying to bring back value to its economy, okay, to the American economy. And if they have a drawn-out war, it keeps siphoning funds from what they are trying to accumulate or work on back home. So and for the fact that Iran keeps shipping out oil, albeit expensive, we're still able to ship out oil to European countries. It does not sit well with America in terms of it's not allowing America's reason for the war to be effective. Okay, so this is America here now trying to strong arm NATO countries. Like, okay, if you're going to keep fighting the NATO wars, especially the war in Ukraine, still in my opinion, you have to help us in this regard, where we don't want to have a drawn-out war. If you are able to sanction Iran, where you no longer buy oil from Iran, for instance, excuse me, I'm catching the cold. All right, where you don't buy oil from Iran for a while, you buy from us. And let's not forget that, in my previous video, I stated that America is trying to position itself to be the largest oil exporter in the world, okay, and with the world with the largest oil reserve. Okay, so if Europe decides to buy oil from the United States and boycott Iran, Iran would not have any other choice than to agree to deals put in front of them by the United States. Okay, so this is America trying to strong arm NATO countries, NATO allies that buy directly from Iran, oil directly from Iran, to fast track the ending of the war. So I think even this meeting is kind of an emergency meeting, okay, summoned by America for everybody to get on board and win something. But I don't think it's going to be a free pass for America, okay? If America has embarked on this war independently, then they have to shelve some things for Europe. They have to give some things apart from the arms and the military strength it has given in the past. I think they have to come on the table and discuss some things. But majorly, it might still be about the oil. Maybe Europe gets oil cheaper than any other part of the world, and that will be difficult for America to manage given what they are trying to achieve economically in their country right now. So we'll see how it goes. I think they're going to resolve to something, okay? And let's not forget that on the other side of the table, America and Iran are coming again to strike a deal together. But I think this time it's going to work because NATO has to come to the table now. All right, so it seems like the war is not going to come to an end without NATO playing a role, or NATO allies playing a role in the whole situation. So, all right, let's go to the editor's note. So, in the editor's note today, I was scrolling through Twitter here, and I saw this post on Instablog Nigeria, and it says ECOWAS projects that Nigeria will be the 5th richest country in the world in the next 50 years. And the sarcasm of that was not lost on me. Number one, the Nigerian people, we don't, from the look of things, in our own projection, if we wait 50 years before life starts getting better for Nigeria, there might not be anybody left in the country. Number two, that the country becomes rich if by the grace of God, Nigeria becomes the richest country, one of the richest countries in the world. It does not translate to its people living in having a good living standard, so to speak. So take China, for example. China is regarded as one of the richest countries in the world, but its people are not living within that standard, all right, simply because of the system its government decides to run. Does not want to give freedom of voice to its people. Okay, so enriching them means being ready, being prepared to be challenged by its citizens, and China does not want that. Does not want to be questioned by its citizens or challenged in any way, manner, or form. All right, so they want to retain power, take power from its people, and rule them, so to speak. So right now, Chinese people the unemployment is skyrocketing, inflation, a lot of things. They're battling a lot of things in-house. Okay, one of these days I'm going to talk about China and bring the statistics to the table. So the sarcasm of that post was not lost on me, and I decided to bring it here. What does it mean 50 years? Like, what do you mean 50 years? We don't have 50 years. Sorry, no. And this is at the same time when the World Bank is as come out with a statement that 131 million Nigerians are living in abject poverty. Like, please miss me with the BS. 50 years, that's too long. Like, are you joking? Nah. All right, that brings us to the end of the show. Please like, share, and subscribe if you find any value with the content, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.